Hi. So this is a game vlog. I just got done playing Dead Ahead, which if you don't know it, look it up. It's all right. It does a left to right. As you know, my game is a left to right auto spawner, and theirs is a energy and card. You select your cards you want, and then when you accumulate energy, you can play your units. And their gameplay is there's just certain combination of units. Like you don't want to use a certain unit against a certain enemy. Like if you know there's certain things that are good for certain things, and it's just basically like good choices and composition, which really isn't gameplay for me. And they cut the missions short all the time. It's like just when you get something going, it's over. So that's not what I'm gonna be doing. My game will be long missions. It's gonna be a grindy fight. You're gonna start with all your characters. You're gonna roll for just three. You got 6 slots. You're gonna roll for 3 characters your first round, and then whatever those characters kill, that's when you start earning more income. And then you can roll for more characters. 2 of the same character can be starred up to 9 stars. A 9 star is 9 times the base stats of a 1 star. And so you play the game and you roll your squad, and basically what the gameplay for the player is the controlling of the 3 special abilities. There's a fireball, there's a heal, and there's a turret. That's all I'm going to use. I'm going to make them important, right? The fireball is awesome. Same thing with the heal. Some of the details about my fire. All fire damage does 10% of its damage as immolate, and it stacks. So if you have 2 fire sources, each doing, one does, say, 50, and the other does 60, right? So you did 120 damage total to them, and there's a recurring tick of, what's 10% of that? 11, right? So there's 11 fire damage that happens once every 2 seconds after that. So it's basically like, yeah, you're going to be able to light things on fire, basically, and they'll just burn down, which is kind of what I want. Especially like a building with a ton of health, yeah, you can get your immolates up so that your immolates, after a few seconds, your immolates as damaging as an actual ability, right? And so, but it can also be canceled, it can be purged, water can cancel it. Like my water guy, my tank, he's gonna have a fireproof ability make you unlock. Yeah, and so the game's about farming essences in a bridge battle. You auto spawn the squad that you have, and so you can design its position and all that. Every time you spawn, all the boons get checked, so you see if all the boons go off, and then your team tries to push down the bridge, and their team tries to push back. You both have a castle and 2 towers. The castle, I'm not sure. I'm sure there'll be boons that add castle defenses, but I don't want a castle defense. It's pretty much the towers where you need to fight. And there's a rule that if you're the first person to lose your tower, then the next round all your boon chances get doubled. So instead of 1%, it's 2%. Instead of 3%, it's 6%. And so you have a higher chance of getting all your boons to go off. Yeah, boons are going to be like fun to collect, and you'll see them every once in a while. But once you get over 100 or 200 boons, then you're going to really start seeing like a lot of action. You'll see like you'll see your characters come out every single time usually. But yeah, I want characters that are like, I'm going to make a squad of Jedi where I've got all 7 elements in the game. Each Jedi is going to have a different lightsaber color, and they're going to have a different they'll have a different ability buffed, right? Like one might have the dark saber will have really high crit damage. The white saber will have really high crit chance. The air saber, the lightsaber, yeah. It'd be cool if light was crit chance, because right now I have his air as crit chance and darkness as crit damage, which I guess is kind of interesting. But anyway, yeah, light does defense. Light adds a flat damage reduction to whatever it does. But yeah, I've played games for years, I've seen everything they do, and I know these greedy games, like, the game is like, here's 25 coins for an upgrade, and then you have, like, your normal character you're supposed to unlock, and they're like, oh, I need 1,500 gold coins for this character, and you're like, why 1,500? Well, because we already paid for because we want you to pay us money. you know, there's nothing to collect. You know what I mean? You can use all your energy they give you, and you're out, and you've made 400 gold. So you need to wait for all your energy to accumulate 3 times, 4 times to get a new character that you're supposed to unlock anyway. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Dang, I got old. I'm 35. Yeah, it just happened like yesterday. Oh, old looking me, it's funny. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's gonna be a fun game, and the thing is I'm just like, I'm disappointed with games these days because they just don't nail gameplay for me. They just aren't nailing gameplay. It's not interesting or fun enough. I think an RTS where you control, it'd be fun. Like, there's going to be an item roll, so instead of buying a character, you can buy an item. So, two armors make a tier 2 armor. Two tier 2 armors make a tier 3 armor, and so you're going to be able to, yeah, an armor will add like tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, 10%, 20%, 30% overshield, right? And so you attach these to characters, you get items, and they can drop from enemies. And the thing about the enemies that are interesting is every 10 seconds, if the game hasn't killed a character, all the enemies get tougher. And every 10 seconds, if the game hasn't killed an enemy, all the enemies get tougher. And so the way that you win is not by losing deliberately, but it's just by you have to be able to push through that. You have to be able to get through that resistance. And so, yeah, you could get all the way to the castle and get overwhelmed, and now they're pushing back. But as they're killing your guys, then it's also decreasing their health. Yeah, it's gonna be like a rough slider underneath. All the enemies will have like base stats, and then I'll just increase it by percentages as they're doing good or bad. And that should keep it like going in the middle, which will start the farm, which is going to be the essence farm, which is why you're going to want to do it. It's going to be to watch the bridge battle. And so while you're, what's wrong with me? Something's wrong with me. I was so pretty before, and now I'm like this old guy. Look at me. I used to be pretty, and now I just look like this. Oh well. Um, yeah, but it's gonna be a bridge battler, and I'm really excited for it because the boons are gonna be cool. Like all my Star Wars guys, I'm gonna love it making little lightsaber guys. Yeah, I'm thinking of if it's a Jedi, it should have a block. So either make it so that laser sword guy has like a really high block chance, like 90% block chance but low health, right? So it's like a real Jedi. They're an invincible curtain of a lightsaber until you hit them, and then they're a rag. But yeah, they're gonna be cool as they can come out in any wave, and if anytime multiple of any class come out together, they buff each other. I want to make that. So, and they buff each other based on their unique skills. Like the dark character has, let's say, plus 40% crit damage. Well, it has to be per star level. So, star level 1 through 9. So, yeah, the Jedi will take, let's say, the median star level. They'll take the average star level. Um, Maybe there'll be some, like I know the Inugami, I want them to have the maximum star level. But yeah, the Jedi, they'll be Sith. I'm going to have the red Jedi, you're going to have that guy. Yeah, the fire Jedi, that's going to be awesome. High attack, he's going to have a high attack. I have to make the buff something that scales, and in my game, because every character starts at 33 health, 11 power, uh, I could do 0 defense, but I want to do 1 defense, 3% crit chance, and 7% crit damage. Because you multiply that by 9, that's a very good crit alteration, And crits are rare, but they're gonna have other effects. Like a lot of my crits, like my elementalist, he shoots 4 types of elemental bolts. Each of their crits will generate an essence. So you want to get to the end game. You want to get to the point that you have 7, 8, 9 star characters out and you're trying to win, right? Yeah, it's going to be really fun. It's just going to be a back and forth. Um, yeah, and the fireball is interesting because I decided that the fireball and the heal and the turret all start at 0 stacks and they have a maximum of like 111 or 99 or whatever it is. And you gain those stacks sometimes from boons, sometimes from drops. Like you could get a fireball card, like +5 fireball stacks. And so I want to make it like per spawn. Like every wave that spawns, there's 1 stack. So 1 fireball, 1 health, 1 turret. And then as they spawn, yeah, there'll be special things like they'll be like give your tower an attack. Like the tower will have a base attack. It's going to be kind of like a basketball court where the center has like 2 towers overlapping. There's a middle where they can fight, but you get close to either side, they can start shooting. But yeah, it'll be like tower. Like one wave will be for the next 8 seconds. The tower has double the range. And the tower now shoots a fireball in addition to its normal attack. Stuff like that are going to be pretty fun buffs. And I do like my mechanic characters that I'm going to have some characters that are boons. And it would be just like, it's just like, what am I going to sell? I think what I'll sell is I'll sell boon packs. I'll sell like popular boons that work well together as like for money packs, and then the rest you can just earn through random. And I already decided I'm going to be a dick. As common is more than 50% chance, but there's going to be a lot of common boons, and once a common boon is 3 star and you get it, it's going to give you resources back, so it's going to pump out essences. Yeah, I want it so that as the enemies get tougher, their drop chances go up too. So, but I don't want the player to be walking away with more than 100 essence every time. If they have a particularly long fight and they get lucky and they get a double essence and they have a lot upgraded, okay, 2, 3, maybe 400 essences for a round, which could take 20, 30 minutes. And then those 400 essences, it's like, yeah, I want to make it so that they're earnable. Oh yeah, this is one of my ideas too. I want to make essences investable. You can take any amount of essence and throw it in a bank, and 24 days later, or however long, 21 days later, it will multiply the essences by what you put in. So yeah, but it's gonna be generous as fuck. It's gonna be like uh, you know 3 times what you put in. I know games that are like they give you a maximum cap that's like useless, right? They'll ask like what is it called? Guns of Glory GOG. Oh, game was terrible. GOG was terrible. Ugh. Yeah, and GOG is like such a piece of shit. Um, but yeah, it was like all the shit was so expensive in GOG, and then they're like, "Oh, here you can invest like a handful of gold for like a month and get a handful extra." It was like you can invest this tiny, meaningless amount of gold, and then we'll give you 10% after a month. It was like the most pathetic shit, like really bad. And I was like, nah. Yeah, the game was terrible, GOG. Oh, it's a shitty designed game. It's absolutely terrible. Anyway, yeah, so my characters all have skill trees that are unlocked by chance events. Like, yeah, I love the 1% chance skills. Like this can rarely happen, but when it does, it's really good. Like, character doesn't die, character responds with like plus 800% health, plus 800% damage. Maybe that buff goes away after 10 seconds and they're just alive again. But yeah, it's yeah, there'll be sublime boons too. Like sublime, you're talking about winning a like a 0.001% chance roll to get a sublime boon. But if you do get one, what's gonna happen is you're gonna get things like instantly win the game. Both players get 1,000 R. you know, and R is the transcendent currency. So yeah, I think the lights for the essences will be fun. I want them to have physics, right? I want the essences to pop out. I want it to be kind of like a light show, right? If you see a giant fireball launch and hit something, you should see all this fire essence come out. And so you basically like just use the game and its powers. Yeah. So my fireball will do more damage and get a bigger radius and just get bigger. Maybe I'll have like 10 levels of fireball animation or something like that for art. Um, could I do that in a day? Yeah. As soon as I know how to animate and do screens, I bet I could do it really fast. I bet I'd become really good at drawing. Um, but yeah, it's gonna be awesome. So fireball that does a bigger AOE, but the heal will put on an overshield, so the heal will add, and it's always like, you know, maybe 5% health per tick or something like that. AOE heal. Yeah, I'll have to figure it out. But yeah, the heal can overshield. So any heal, no, maybe only a few characters. A few characters will add overshield, but I'll need to put like, you know, I kind of want it so that the characters can move and attack at the same time. Like I really like self-motivated ball physics. You know what I mean? Like the character wants to move and everything is like hitting each other and jostling. It could be fun with a bridge, especially if there's no sighting. You can knock things off or get breezes or gusts and all that. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Um, but yeah, and I definitely like. I want to have like an array of different weapons. Like the water guy, the shielder. I've been debating between giving him a sword. I was thinking since he's kind of like the main hero character, the shielder, he should have a special weapon. I was thinking about giving him like either a wooden sword or a light sword or something like that. That it does true damage. Defense doesn't block it, and you can't really you can't diminish it. It's not affected by resistances. It can't be blocked. And no defense will take it down, yeah, and it just does the exact flat damage. So it cuts through like high armored targets. I was thinking of giving him that. Is that he does like low damage for a tank, but all of his attacks don't get diminished. They do true damage. And give him like an ability that like buffs his true damage if you get a high block chain. But the sword isn't his main weapon, it's the shield. And the shield is covered is like I'm gonna figure out how to make water really come out of that. And I like the idea of like a tank with surf, right? He shield bashes, you should see like a surf shoot up. Maybe he could do an ice spike. For me, ice and water are the same. Yeah. Water and heat is steam boiling, and then water and dark is ice. Right? It's cold. So, but anyway, yeah, it's gonna be a fun game. It's gonna be a fun game. The turret's gonna be cool. It's gonna be a blocker, right? Maybe you can upgrade it in a screen to get a turret mode. But yeah, it'll be designed to create a choke point. Um, and yeah, I'm just gonna give it like a massive pool of health. Like the game is Fire Guy's gonna be cool, but yeah, Water Guy's got his water essence and his shield, not his weapon. Fire Guy's gonna have a really long sword. I don't think I want him. Maybe he does cleave damage. No, he doesn't do cleave damage. I want him to attack fast. Yeah, I want the Fire Guy to attack fast, and then he does a fire wave that does AoE. So yeah, he's kind of interesting because he's a frontliner, so he has to have defense, right? So he has a he has a crit, or I'm sorry, he has a parry, and he has a dodge. And so I'm gonna give his dodge like 10% or something like that, and then he's gonna have a parry which will counterattack. And his special trait is he has a 22% chance on hit to hit again. And I want to make it so that if he hits again, he's got a 22% chance on that second one. And if that goes off, he has to win two 22% chance rolls in a row. And if he does, he shoots a fire wave. Now, this is going to get awesome because I want to give him something like the more he attacks, the faster he gets. And then I also want to give him yeah, so he's stacking. He basically is like he's DPS that builds up, and then when he's attacking fast and things are getting hot, it should feel like he's counterattacking, throwing off like these fire waves and stuff. It's gonna be really cool looking. Yeah, fire wave's gonna be awesome. Maybe I'll make it small for like uh Any object that I can scale would be awesome, but like make one and then scale it down for like, tier 1 through tier 9. And I'm going to make it too that he'll be like a fire type, but he doesn't do a lot of fire damage at first. You have to ignite his weapon, and then you have to unlock his fire wave. And then he does a ton of fire damage, and he's going to be awesome. The Dark Woman is going to be really cool, because I want her to be a free-firing laser. I'm not going to do a ray cast. She's going to create objects that collide. But I want her to have, like, rapid-fire red laser, right? And it's going to do a low percentage of damage. But when it crits, she builds it's going to be like she builds, maybe it's like 1% extra crit damage per non-crit until she crits, and then she publishes that crit damage as a buff to everybody. So whatever she crits at, everybody else gets her extra crit damage that she built up for their next crit. So yeah, and so it's gonna scale with star levels. So like star 1, every attack she does is like plus 1%. Star 9, every attack she does is plus 9%. But it's going to be balanced because you're talking about she's going to have a much higher chance to crit, so she's going to be critting way more often, right? Yeah. It's going to be good. I'll just make it I'll make it stackable too. So that if she let's say she like shoots 4 shots, the second one of each uh, crits, then the other team's going to get, the accumulation of both of those, right? Or not the other team, but her allies. And I think that'd be fun, and then give her either vampirism on her extra crit damage or just straight a vamp, right? She does vamp and crit damage buffing. I think that'd be awesome for a character. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Got to think about how it stacks. But the thing that I like about the slider is, did the enemy kill one of your guys? No? Okay, they all get a plus 25% health, plus 25% health damage, right? It didn't nail anybody, right? They need to be a lot stronger. Um, and so, yeah, it can go back and forth, I feel like. I feel like the game is going to have a perfect balance. But yeah, it's an RTS auto spawner on a bridge battle. So it's intense. Blocking is going to be useful. Closing it up, because you don't want if the tank isn't AoE taunting and there's not enough blocking it, yeah, they're going to spill by and get your backline and get to your tower and overtake you. And if you lose, then they steal 90% of your pot. Yeah, if you lose, you're going to keep some of it, and that'll allow you, if you're stuck on a level, to slowly edge out upgrades, which will let you beat it. But yeah, I want all the base stat upgrades. Like, there's going to be 5 upgrades per character for base stats. They have identical base stats, right? But their individual character is going to have, like, each one, like, the tank will have, like, maybe plus 3 health, plus 2 defense, which will be good for him. He needs high defense because he gets hit. The fire guy will be like plus 1 health, plus 3 attack, plus 1 defense because he's in the front. Dark Woman will be like plus 5% crit damage, right? Each one does 1% extra crit damage, which is a really low amount, right? Because you're talking about a rare event that only does plus 5%. It's not too good. You know what I mean? It's not as balanced as plus 1 health. Oh, yeah, it is, because then it gets multiplied per star level. Yeah, that's right. It is about it's all about those base stats. You know what I mean? God, what happened to me? It looked so good yesterday. No, my car, it was earlier, it was devastating. It worked, it drove, and then I tried to start it again, and it wouldn't start. And I opened the hood, and I took the stick out I found, and then it started again. So I don't know if the stick got in there and that did it, or what. But anyway, yeah. It's going to be a great game. Uh, yeah, I got a lot of drinks up here. I got a lot of food, but I don't have a need to go into town. So I'm going to go catch this shady spot up here for a little bit and sit up here. But yeah, it's going to be an awesome game. It's going to be an awesome game. I like how the Dark Woman came out. I like the vampirism and all the character abilities, so they'll be doing a little bit of extra healing, right? And I'm giving the healer is gonna have. See, if I do an auto spawner, I'm gonna benefit from generic unnamed units. You know what I mean? Like you don't need to put out two patties. You don't need Eric out twice. It just looks weird. Like why are there two Erics? It's just like unexplained. So I need to make him like shielder, swordsman, and I want to make like your home like the dreams versus the nightmares. And the nightmares are gonna. I mean, I really want the nightmares to be like essences clad in like gooey darkness. You know what I mean? Where you can harvest them. But yeah, the main game's gonna be the shiny essence display and the cool abilities. Like the elementalist is gonna be awesome. He has 4 portals above him that it's basically each portal every attack cycle has a chance of opening. If none of them open, he puts a block on himself. Only one. He doesn't stack blocks. Some characters do, he doesn't. Not himself. If he already has a block on him, then he casts a purge. That purge will remove fire damage. That purge will remove a buff, right? That purge will do that. And maybe I'll give him spell steal. Nah, Dark Woman will have spell steal. Yeah, Dark Woman. All of her whole kit. She's got team energy vampirism, team crit damage buffing. She should be able to turn a unit into stone, like freeze it or put it out. Oh yeah, what was the other thing? Oh yeah, and then she has a spell steal. A spell steal would be really good. Steal a buff applied to her. Yeah, that'd be really good. Designing the enemy, I don't really have. I mean, with the enemy, it's just basically like I really like scary blobs or like um, slimes, anything with a lot of health that breaks apart, like really inhuman kind of energy things. Yeah, that'd be really good. But yeah, the elementalist, he's gonna have all those like little lights coming off, and I'm gonna have like he's gonna have his lotto win, where you get all 4 of his elements to trigger at once. He shoots because it's gonna be like incidental damage, like right, and then I want him to rapid fire shoot all 4 of his elements. So he's gonna go through and shoot them all like right, just at everybody, hitting everything, and then he's gonna and shoot like a giant meteor combined with all 4 and just AoE nuke there. Yeah. So he's gonna be like this character that's like he's not doing anything, he's not helping until he gets that, and then he's gonna spray. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty fun. The Bard, yeah, the Bard is still like, how am I gonna do the AoE buff? Because what I want the character to have random notes that are played, like notes that work well as like arpeggio together, and have each note be a different buff, and then whatever you luck out and get is the buff that your team gets for the next wave, right? Um, and so I think that'd be pretty interesting. The Bard to me is air, so the Bard should increase, definitely buff crit. Maybe I replace the Bard character with somebody else, right? A crit or attack speed buffer, right? Because crit chance with Dark Woman is okay. Yeah, I'll have to figure it out. I'll have to figure it out. She might, yeah, I mean, and the 2 ability sets I kind of want for her is the red laser, like a rapid fire. Like, she just, I don't know why, like, almost like Dragon Ball Z. You ever see that where they just, like, spam bolts at each other? Yeah, she's gonna spam, like, red bolts. And they can hit anything and just, like, yeah, just do, like, incidental chunk damage. Rather the Bard does AoE damage or not, I don't know, or just AoE buffs. And how do multiple Bards stack with each other? It might just be fun just to build it and get it working and see like what it does. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. Um, I think items definitely need to be there because it allows you to change the spawn time after time. And the choice between I kind of want like tower upgrades, like okay, one spawn of a new character is like 5 gold. Tower upgrade level 1 is 5. You'll get like tier 2. Tier 3 is 10. Tier 4 is, 15. And are these just earned by killing units or are these earned by time? I think they'll be earned by boons. You'll have boons that can give you between 1 and 7 gold, or 1 and 9 gold, or whatever. And then you'll have, not every enemy will drop money for you, but some will. And then you'll accumulate it just over time. So you have the choice rather not to buy mercenaries and upgrade more units or a item. Um, will pretty much, I think, will make the game interesting enough that the player feels strategically engaged. And certainly, always having a stronger squad is better. And it's called RNGKING. I mean, you could get 4 healers. Nothing's stopping that. Your first 4 rolls, it's all the healer. The healer doesn't damage anything, right? So you've got your healers standing under the fucking tower healing it in themselves. It's not an unwinnable situation, but it would be different than, 2 swordsmen, 2 tanks. 2 swordsmen, or even better, you want a tank, you want the tank, the healer, um, and whatever else. You get a tank and healer, you're already doing better. But yeah, I want the healer and the tank to be together. Like, I just feel like they should be a couple, right? And so I want the healer to heal the tank more than other characters. And that'll be the tank's, like, main, like, survival thing. But yeah, the tank's interesting because the tank can make water clones, and the tank can put a water overshield on itself. So, but that happens under block chance, right? So if you're like, all right, so base stats are 33 health, 11 damage. That lets you know what I'm thinking. I was thinking of actually canceling attack damage and all of that and just doing power, where the higher the power, the more everything, right? Where your power, everything adds power, and then power is your health. Power is also the damage that you do. So a high powered individual can instantly kill targets, and those targets can, like, incidentally damage them. I think it might be good, yeah. Attack damage is the same thing as health. Power, how would crit be? It just wouldn't, it would just be power. It'd certainly be simpler, but might make combat quicker. But no, I like all the stats, because then you can make different things affect different stuff. I mean, this would be an awesome light boon, right? This would be a legendary light boon, plus 10 defense, random character, plus 10 defense, right? A mythic one, past legendary, would be plus 10 defense or plus 12 defense, prioritizes tanks, right? That would be a really good one. We'll always choose a tank character first, tank or melee. That's a really good one. But yeah, just a bunch of that, and then boons. Like, so every wave, it's like the player versus player is, what characters did you get? What are their star levels? Did you get good items? When you rolled for items, was it what you wanted, or was it useless? I don't really want useless items. I like King God Castle, where it's like bow, staff, weapon, and armor. And maybe I'll make a category for each, right? Maybe there'll be a trinket for crit, and maybe like an omen for crit damage, uh, stuff like that. Anyway, you get these items, and then it has to be generic enough you can stack them. But what I want is, I want there to be, and this was what was fun about King God Castle, is that you had items that were like, would do chain attack damage, right? Okay, this item now is a chain attack. Any character doing any damage is going to chain attack now to everybody. Well, for characters like Jupiter, that shit was insane. This shit was insane, but it was only insane if you got it to work out that way. And so the balance is, it doesn't have to work out that way, right? It just doesn't have to. It can, doesn't have to. And I think that's pretty interesting. So yeah, it's been a pretty good little video. It's warming up. It's going to be like 2 more days of heat in California, then it's going to get way cold. And that's when I'm going to go to the beach. This would have been perfect when I said I'd go, but yeah, it's just a fun game, and the more I play other games, the easier I think it'll be to do, because I really only want one map. It's going to be like the iconic zone, like the battle map, right? Like stylized, this is where you play. And I want it to have random elements. I want it to have mercenaries. Like I guess I could just like the boon pool and the mercenary pool will be the same. You know, you could see like it's a 3-star merc, a 4-star merc, right? And you could pay some gold to get them. And then they work for only, until they die and they never respawn. So maybe it's a bargain, right? But yeah, it's going to be pretty fun. It's going to be pretty fun. And there'll be boons too, like, for the next, you know, maybe a common boon will be the next roll is a 2-star, and a sublime boon will be the next 9 rolls are 2 stars. Um, Stuff like that. That'd be fun to collect. And at 1% chance or 3% chance of going off, just you won't see them that often. And so it's going to be like, yeah, collecting them is going to be important. And getting a +1 attack, I mean, it is interesting. Like 33%, 33 health, 11 attack power. So that basically means that for me, my plan is that if your character gets hit, let's say your shielder gets hit 3 times in a row, he's probably gonna die. If he doesn't block once, which will happen with a 33% chance, like the chances of you getting hit. But I do want to have the 10 blocks in a row, right? Okay, so the first double block you get, he gets 10% overshield. The third double block you get, he does an AoE taunt. The fourth block you get, he gets a plus 25% overshield. And then the fifth block he like does an AoE attack. The sixth block, he gets a huge buff. The seventh block, he moves faster, and his sword gets like a fucking gigantic amount of true damage. Like his sword ignites like right? And so to show this, and there's a blah blah, right? The power up, and it's gonna be awesome. And yeah, all the way up to the 10th block. 10th block. The 10th block, I'm thinking like Lee from Naruto. He basically is like he has plus 800% damage, plus 800%, maybe not 800% health. Yeah, plus 800% damage, like plus 600% overshield. And his attacks do like cleave. Yeah, his attacks do cleave now. That would be awesome for a buff, but that's for getting 10 blocks in a row. You could just as easily see your shielder go out and he just misses all 3 blocks and dies. So it could be like fucking fantastic or really awful. And I like that variance. And I like that variance through percentage, right? Yeah, I don't know. The sword guy. I might make it so that the maiden, the healer, so that my basic plan for the healer is that she does a basic good base heal, and she has an ability pool that she can do instead of her heal. And things like, and then she has her special trait is she has a chance instead of healing one person to heal 3. Or if she has a special ability, instead of casting 1 buff, she casts 3. Or instead of casting like, whatever, she just does it in multiples, right? You got these guys trekking through here. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I'm gonna like the boons and the collectibles, and I like my skill mechanics because nobody else does that. You either have something that has a cooldown, and I hate cooldowns. I hate cooldowns. Doesn't make any sense. There's gonna be no cooldown. You'll just accumulate it, and you'll know it's worthless using it early. You'll be like, yeah, I could use Fireball right now, but it's at 2 stacks. The most that would do is refresh my Incinerate stacks, which might be worth it. You might want to throw on a little. You just hit a Fireball, hit another one to keep Incinerate going. That's not a bad idea. But I think that it's like, yeah, it's going to be really fun. Yeah. Will water put out fire damage? Yeah, I think a stack of water damage should take 1 tick off fire damage. Yeah, you put a little fire on water, it won't put it out, but it will put it out a little bit. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I got a cool spot up here. It's underneath a tower. These towers are good to hide under for shade. Yeah. Storage low. Yep, it's time to publish it.